Hello, I'm Philip Stoten. I'm here at Apex 2019 and I'm on the Scoop Studio with Brian D'Amico from Mirtec. Brian, always great to see you. We're literally in the last half an hour of the show. How's it been for you guys?
I still have a voice. I'm amazed I still have a voice. It was actually a really good show. Probably the best show ever that I've done. And I'll tell you, it was our busiest show. We brought 9 systems with us at the show. We sold 8 of the 9, which is awesome. Did very well. Waiting for the other shoe to fall off. It's going very, very well. And we also brought a collaborative robot, so it really drove a lot of traffic to our booth this year. And my guys did such a good job of taking care of all the customers. Yeah. Typically, there's like lines for equipment, and they got through all that and took care of the customers. And it's exciting to see that happen.
Yeah, and it's great. It's great to see your team buzzing. Cobots, though, collaborative robots. I think one of the things I've noticed with robotics and some of that automation is we've been struggling to find a place, a really good job for that robotic section of the industry to do. What are you doing with the robot with respect to your equipment?
All right, well, of course, for Industry 4.0, we're talking about automation. We've sold thousands of desktop systems out there. Now we have this new 3D desktop system, or MV3 Omni. It's done extremely well in the market. But if you want to automate that process, you kind of have to remove the human being. So the only way of doing that is to use a cobot, all right, collaborative robot. So our friends at Universal Robot gave us a robot, and we had the gripper and the stand from Pneumatic Engineering. We interfaced that to our desktop system, and what we're actually showing is the robot pulling boards from a magazine, putting them into our machine, inspecting those, and then sorting good and bad. And then, of course, the bad boards would go over for rework. So at some point, if you're looking to automate the semi-automatic inspection process, you need to use a collaborative robot.
Okay, so nice little closed loop. And we're seeing more and more collaboration. I know you've got various different collaborations with software providers and you're interfacing to CFX and all these things. That collaboration, that idea of Industry 4.0 being too big for one company to kind of monopolize has dawned on the industry finally, hasn't it?
Yes, it has. And there's more collaboration amongst robots now, more collaboration amongst vendors. The bottom line is, in order to get to Industry 4.0, we require collaboration amongst multiple vendors and competitors alike. We introduced this show, it's called our TRMS system, right? It's Total Remote Management System. So what we're doing there is we're interfacing to all of the machines within the line. So you have to be able to collaborate with each of those different systems. You're talking competitors and, of course, friends alike. So what we're doing is actually pulling data from those machines, collecting that data. We have a predictive analysis system. It's actually predictive neural synthesis, where we take and we do big data analytics, and then we feed information, golden process parameters, back to the machines in line. So that requires collaboration amongst multiple different vendors and with different, middleware, CFX, et cetera, because there's no one true standard yet. And you can't have 5 standards and say it's standard, So we have to be able to deal with all that stuff for our customers.
Yeah, and I think that's the truth of the matter. I think it'll be a long time before we kind of define one specific standard, and there'll always be other standards that are used, because as we look to the way the industry is connecting more and more into the semiconductor industry, they have their own GEM standards, they have different standards that we need to apply. So connectivity becomes an essential part. In terms of the markets, what are you seeing in the markets? It seems to be going pretty well here in the US. The level of optimism at this show has been as high as I can remember for some time. But we're on a good run. We've been on this run for a while. What do you see going on?
Well, last year was a banner year. It was our most successful year in corporate history. So we've had 8 consecutive years of growth. Ever since 2009, when everybody kind of tanked a bit, right? 8 consecutive years of growth. So with 2018 doing so well, you're kind of looking forward to 2019. January this year, we booked over $2 million worth of business before an Apex show. It's kind of like buying a car before a car show. And normally it gets a little bit quieter, after the end of the year, it's still quieter. And this was actually the most active and the best January I've ever had in 14 years of being in business. So I'm hoping it continues to climb. I don't have a crystal ball, but I believe the market's doing extremely well. Yeah. Are you hearing the same thing from other vendors?
Yeah, we're absolutely hearing the same thing. We're hearing the same thing both north and south of the border. I think Mexico's going through this really interesting renaissance and actually winning a bit from this tariffs thing that's going on. As Trump continues to bicker with China, that's good news for Mexico, and that trade agreement seems to be seems to be settled now. And I know you're starting to sell some equipment down there.
Yes.
That's an exciting market for you as well.
Yeah, Mexico is definitely. We have a country manager down there. His name is Juan Pablo Garcia. He's done extremely well down there. We, of course, have a lot of automotive companies down there that are buying our equipment, and I see that as being a growth market. And there's, it's always, people are looking at it going, what's going to happen next, right, with the elections and stuff? What's going to happen next? And that's, once again, where you need that crystal ball thing. But I do see that that Mexico market is growing right now. So as that continues to grow, I mean, all of North America is doing so well. It's a good thing, right? Fingers crossed it continues.
Yeah, and long may it continue. And regardless of the uncertainty we see in terms of markets, in terms of technology, if you're producing good equipment and you're listening to your customers and it resonates, then you've got as much opportunity as anybody else, I guess.
Absolutely. Yeah, what it comes down to is this. We, of course, don't manufacture the machines, right? Our HQ, my partner, manufactures the machines. We buy them, resell them. The whole goal is at that point there, we are the interface of the customer. We drive back engineering. We drive that feedback to engineering and make the machines as best they can possibly be. And all we really do is we service and we support those machines. And the nice part about that is if you treat your customers well, you're going to have a customer for life. Yeah. And one thing that we're really good at Mirtec, I got to tell you, we won the Service Excellence Award. This is our 5th year in a row, out of like 27 different competitors. That tells me my guys are doing a good job taking care of my customers.
Yep, and that's exactly what you want to hear, isn't it? Brian, great to see you. Pleasure to chat as always. Go enjoy what little there is rest of the show, and good luck with the breakdown.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.